then about the devotional service and how and what is the basically who can do devotional service and what are the some of the aspects. Then later on it continues also in detail in the book later part in the later chapters about this devotional service. So I will just cover first few paragraphs here. So we'll read first 5 to 6 paragraphs today, and we'll discuss and go detail into that. All of the previous instructions imparted by Sri Rupa Goswami in the broad statement can be summarized thus: as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. Next, Rupa Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material considerations, and that it is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstance. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. It is open for all, without any distinction, and it is the constitutional occupation of the living entities. In the Middle Ages, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associate, Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves the Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belonged only to that particular class, which was known as Nityananda Vangsha. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time, until Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. Besides that, anyone who is engaged in devotional service is already at the status of being a high-class Brahmana. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's struggle for this movement has come out successful. It is on the basis of his position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world or any part of the universe. Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. Our Krishna conscious movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned proposition of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of the Western countries. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami or by the strength of the various scriptures. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. He has given many evidence from many scriptures, and he has specially quoted one passage from Padma Purana, wherein the sage Vasishtha tells King Dilip, "My dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service. Just he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magha." There is more evidence in the Skanda Purana, in the Kasikhanda portion, where it is said, in the country known as Mayuradhwaja, the lower caste people who are considered less than Sudras are also initiated in the Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilak on their bodies and beads in their hands and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. In fact, they look so beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. Thus, a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. This idea is also supported by Sanatana Goswami in his book Haribhakti Vilasa, which is the Vaishnava guide. Therein, he has clearly stated that any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult certainly become a Brahmana. As such, as the metal known as kamsa or bell metal is turned into gold by mixture of mercury. A bona fide spiritual master, under the guidance of authorities, can turn anyone to the Vaishnava cult so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of Brahmana. So we have more paragraphs here, but we'll stop here and we'll try to discuss on this beautiful subject matter. So let's do the Vaishnava prayers now. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakkhumritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadanti Swavadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Ramami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhuvaya Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Nama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the wonderful Nectar of Devotion class. So we're discussing about purity of devotional service in this particular topic. So in the prior topics, we see that, the topics, the discussion started with how this devotional service, is better than also the the achievement wise, it is better than the devotees who are looking for liberation. So it started with that. So this subject matter is very broad and very beautiful and is very, very essential for all of our bhakti. So my knowledge in this wonderful subject matter is very limited, but with all of your blessings and guidance, would like to glorify the subject matter for my own purification. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we see that this in the purport here, we see that Prabhupada is starting here with the summarization. Could have had Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. So this topic basically Prabhupada is starting with summarizing. If you see here the highlighted one, as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. So Prabhupada is clearly here saying here by following our Rupa Goswami's quote that earlier we discussed that there are three different paths out there. There is a karmic way, there is a karma yoga, there is a jnana, then there is a dhyana yoga also. All these three, whenever we see that from the karma, you get, you achieve certain things, you achieve some certain amount of luxury you attain, and at the end what happens, you also try to gain more and more. So still you are not happy. Then in the jnana yoga, right, you try to acquire more knowledge you want to acquire. Then in the dhyana yoga, basically you see that you do yogas and you try to do so many siddhis you want to attain, like Lakhima Siddhi, Anuma Siddhi, some kind of there are Ashta Siddhis are there, you try to acquire that. Then at the end you desire that devotees desire that who are in the Mayavadi cult, they desire that yes, we are going to merge with the Brahma in the spiritual effulgence. But merging with the spiritual effulgence also, we don't get the 100% pleasure. We get, definitely they get something, but they don't get the 100% pleasure that a pure Suddha Bhakta gets. The pure Suddha Bhakta gets the devotional pleasure, that happiness he gets by serving in this material planet. Then later on also, when he goes to Golok Vrindavan, there also he serves, and there also he gets same amount of, even more amount of bliss, and that place is eternal bliss. So that's what here Prabhupada is saying, that a pure devotee, he doesn't aspire for this kind of merging into the spiritual effulgence. So with this he started that, stated that, what is basically devotional service and what is basically pure devotional service. So when we say that pure, right, what is basically purity in devotional service? So we see that, when we buy a juice in the market, like we buy orange juice in the market, we try to see is there any extra chemical or something is there? Is it 100% juice, or is it coming from concentrated pulp? Like so many things we check. Is it 100% juice or not? Then when we buy gold, they tell that yes, it is a pure gold kind of thing. We just check. Like limited and maybe very less quantity, less amount of like alloys are there. Then we buy to these days we try to go for ghee or butter. We say yes, Suddha Desi ghee. Like anything we see that we look for the pure or purity. So similarly, what is basically purity in devotional service? Purity in devotional service means there is no adulteration. It is basically 100% devotional service. There is nothing else. Only devotional service, only devotional service, only devotional service. This devotional service basically is not dependent on anything. Sometimes we say, right, Krishna, you give me this, in return, I will do this service to you. Basically, sometimes in Tirupati or any Vaishnav Devi, people, devotees go, they tell that, okay, give my son this job, or give me this beautiful wife or beautiful and good looking husband. I will give you 100 coconuts, or I will do parikrama 10 times. It's kind of a give and take relationship. So your giving is completed, Krishna's giving is completed, then our devotional service stops over there. Like we see that in our temple also, a lot of devotees, initially they come and they join, they part. They have sometimes some motive is there that, okay, this is a better country. They come from India. They look for from H1 to green card. They come and they pray. Yes, they get the green card. They get better job. They were looking for some kind of material benefit. They get it. Slowly, they're coming to temple, reduces. Because their devotional service is dependent on this material benefit. They think that it is. But when the devotional service is, basically we see that our devotional service is transcendental. It is not dependent on any material things. But when matter is involved over there, then basically what happens, it becomes, it's not that 100% pure. So here Rupa Goswami, here it is telling that in order to attend Krishna, we should have pure devotional service. Prabhu, you can hear me? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji.
I'm audible, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's what it says, that here Rupa Goswami is stressing on purity in devotional service. So then when there comes the topic of the pure devotee. So you see here there is a picture here is there, and Prabhupada is addressing to certain reporters. The reporter basically asking Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, do you have some pure devotees in your organization? So Prabhupada little bit smiles and looked at one of his disciples. Then he asked the disciples who is very close to him, how many devotees we have? The devotees who are there that time into that particular congregation, he told, yes, in this congregation these many devotees are there, they are attending. Then Prabhupada replied, this, okay, we have this, suppose 100, he responded, we have 100 pure devotees, something like that. Prabhupada responded, all are pure devotees. Then reporter became happy and he left. Then this disciple asked Prabhupada, how can you say that these devotees, all of us are pure devotee? I know about myself, I am not 100% pure. I have so many desires within me, and my this and this. And Prabhupada, he started telling Prabhupada that how he has impurity within him. Then Prabhupada immediately responded, see, this process is such and such that when you come here, you follow the process and you do more and more devotional service, you automatically become pure. Basically, here the purity comes from the time factor from here. More you stay, more you do devotional service, you have this association, then book reading, chanting, and diet, then do devotional service, then automatically the purity comes. Like we see that, like when the iron becomes very hot, it looks like a molten gold kind of thing. Similarly, this Prabhupada was trying to explain them that as long as now in this stage you are kind of you are in the initial stage, basically you are kind of a raw green mango. So we see that in the tree, right? There will be raw green mangoes, then there will be ripened mangoes. So ripened mangoes are very juicy, and the raw mangoes are they are also good. They are different uses are there. But when they ripen, they're more demand. They're no more demand. They're more tastier. They're more juicy. So as long as the mango is connected to the branch, basically in the slow process, when the sun comes, when the rain comes, and from the soil with the water comes, nutrient comes, the green mango slowly what happens? It turned into the yellow juicy mangoes. Similarly, the devotees, when Prabhupada was saying, as long as you are connected to the system and with the parampara, and you are following basically 4 regulative principles constantly, and then what will happen? And you don't have any other ulterior motives or desires, definitely you will become ripened, and you will become ripened devotees, and that time you will become pure. So that's why I told that all of you are pure devotees. So then Prabhupada always gives this particular beautiful example, beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, this one, that about ahetuki apratihata. He always tells about these two verses for pure devotional service. One is ahetuki apratihata, and another is the anyaya vidashita sunyam. The first one, it goes by like this: sabe pungsa paradharma yato bhaktir adhokshache ahetuki apratihata yahatma supradishati. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that the real occupation or the supreme occupation or dharma for the entire humanity is that by which everybody can attend the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord Krishna. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Unmotivated, uninterrupted means unmotivated means what? There should not be any other motive. The motive is what? Motive is pleasure of Krishna and Gauranga. Like whatever we do, Krishna should be in the center. Anything we do, anything we perform, always it should not be like it is motivated by my own particular desire or my wife's desire or my children's desire or so and so desire. It should be always for Krishna's pleasure, and it should be uninterrupted. It's not like that, like I get this benefit. Okay, 5 days, like now 7 days is there. I'm going to chant 5 days. Next 2 days, I'm going to take break. Or maybe 5 days, I'm going to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam or read Bhagavad Gita or any devotional book. After 2 days, I'm going to take break. Here, Prabhupada is saying that, here in Srimad Bhagavatam said that it is unmotivated and uninterrupted for complete satisfaction. So we see that some of our devotees, we come sometimes to the temple, sometimes we don't see. So this uninterrupted and when I see that, I always think about our Jayaprakash Prabhu. Every day, early morning, 4 o'clock, Jayaprakash Prabhu will be every day in the temple. Whether it is a sun, whether it is a rainy day, whether it is snowing, he has this uninterrupted devotional service every day, coming and taking darshan early morning. Like when we were building our temple initially, we were having challenges. Okay, that discussion was coming. Yes, Chopati temple, so many devotees come for Mangalarti. And then Chuku temple, so many devotees come for Mangalarti. That time in the meeting, one of the meetings, Jayaprakash Prabhu told, okay, you go for a temple. Then I am telling you that every day I'll come for attend Mangalarti. From that day till today, we see Jayaprakash Prabhu uninterruptedly, he is attending every morning Mangalarti without any fail. So this is basically, we can sing that this kind of examples, we can think that kind of a uninterrupted devotional service. So this is basically a criteria. If we have this kind of devotional service attitude, then slowly we can say that it is basically a stepping stone towards the purity in devotional service. The next one always Prabhupada refers is the anyaya vidashita sunyam. That verse. Anyaya vidashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Anukulyana Krishnanushranam bhaktir uttamam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he basically describes about the pure devotional service is anyaya vidashita sunyam. Anyaya vidashita sunyam means one must be devoid of all kind of material desires, knowledges, or any kind of philosophy or any kind of fruitive action. When we don't have any other desire, then and our only desire is like for pleasing Krishna, how to please Krishna, there should be our only desire. That time what we can do, we should be able to surrender to Krishna, and we should do whatever Krishna likes us to do, or whatever our spiritual master likes us, advises us to come close to Krishna. So we should always do favorable service to Krishna. We should always think of Krishna. When we say that we should always think of Krishna and meditate on him, so there are other aspects also, like Krishna, like Kanksha and Duryodhana, they're also meditating on Krishna, but their meditation was not in a favorable way. But our meditations on Krishna should be on a favorable way, following the footsteps of Brajvasis, like Jashodama, how always he was thinking of Krishna, how Gopis and Radharani, always they were thinking of Krishna, how our spiritual master, whenever whatever he was saying, he was thinking how to engage this and that in Krishna's service. So our motivation should be like that. So there are two things here we see for the purity aspect. One is the ahetuki apratihata, that means unmotivated and uninterrupted. Another is anyaya vidashita sunyam. So that is basically devoid of all kind of material desires. So here in the purport, it says that basically in here, let me go to the thing. Yeah. Now he says that devotional service basically is transcendental to all material consideration, and it is not limited to any particular country, class, and society or circumstance. So with this, we see that the devotional service basically is transcendental to material qualifications. So Rupa Goswami basically basically he refers to there are there are 6 or 7 categories of devotees who could be disqualified in different ways, but stayed in Lord's grace by devotion. So in Hari Bhakti Vilas, basically, which is basically a Vaishnava manual, here the Goswamis have described here that the Supreme Lord cannot be pleased with only with good any kind of good occupation. This is a very famous verse quoted often by Prabhupada and other acharyas also. So it says that what is basically qualification to please Lord Krishna. So if we say that somebody say that yes, somebody must be little bit a little bit older in age, so that he would have a knowledge to find what is right and what is wrong, then only he can think of pleasing Krishna. But what about Dhruva Maharaj, when he went to forest to offer prayers to Krishna, he was only 5 years of old age. But still what happened? He attained Krishna at the end. So then somebody says that yes, material knowledge is needed for qualification of pleasing Krishna. Then we can see that Gajendra, basically he was an elephant, and he was basically associated with the sea elephants, and he is coming and he's entering to the water, and then he's attacked by the crocodile. Then Gajendra is offering a prayer. So Gajendra is an elephant, he's offering a prayer, and Krishna is getting pleased. They say that Vishnu is so much pleased that he was not waiting for his carrier Garuda to carry him. He is in fact running ahead of Garuda so that he could basically rescue Gajendra, who surrendered to him. Then somebody might say that yes, if you have to please Krishna, then you need to have a good body. You should be very physically, you should be very, very beautiful, because beauty is one of the aspects also to please Lord. Then we say that what beauty Kubja has. Kubja, we know that he wanted to offer sandalwood paste to Krishna, and Krishna himself came to Kubja to accept her devotional service. Then somebody might say that yes, Krishna, wealth also is a characteristic to attend Krishna. Then we might say that yes, how then Sudama became Krishna's very good friend. Sudama was very poor Brahmin, but he could attend Krishna. Then somebody might say that yes, you might have to born in an aristocratic family. You should have a good birth. Then we see the example of Vidurji. Basically, Vidurji, he is born from basically his mother is from a lower birth. But still, we see that Krishna came and resided in Vidura's cottage, and he was considered Vidura as a great friend and well-wisher of him. Then we see that these are the characteristics we see. Then finally we see that somebody might say that yes, to get Krishna, basically you need to have also physically very strong. So then we can see that what here in this beautiful verse, the Acharya is describing that what power then Ugrasena had. Ugrasena was pretty old when Krishna came to him. So basically, Lord Madhava, who loves devotional service, he becomes very pleased with a person who takes shelter of him at his lotus feet with pure devotion, not only by these material qualities, because this devotional service basically is above these material qualities. Now you see here these beautiful pictures, what we discussed just now. So for Kubja's case, beauty doesn't matter to achieve Krishna, and Sudama's case, wealth doesn't matter, and Dhruva Maharaj's case, age doesn't matter, and the Gajendra's case, basically, knowledge doesn't matter. So what matters basically is our love and surrender to Krishna only. Next, basically here in the purport, our Prabhupada is describing that this pure devotional service is independent of any kind of society or any kind of country or any kind of circumstances. We see here in the left side picture of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami basically were outcasted since they took the service from the Muslim king. But still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered about them, both of them, and they are basically one of the topmost acharyas, and they are kind of our They have written so many books, and we all of us are following it. Then our Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is basically is coming from a Muslim background. He is from a Javana family. But Haridas Thakur basically he is our Namacharya. He was chanting around 3 lakh names of Krishna a day. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much fond of our Haridas Thakur. Then we see now Srila Prabhupada, when he came to outside of India, we have, in India there are so many disciples all around the world. They're from the different community, different colors, different backgrounds. So here we see that Prabhupada is sitting with his 5 American disciples. He is sitting over there. So Prabhupada, when he established the Krishna conscious movement outside, he came with all of his disciples to India. So Prabhupada did a nice bundle program at Bombay, and all of his 5 disciples, these Prabhujis and Matajis, now who are senior Maharaj, they were walking with him in a procession and doing kirtan. So everybody on the street, they were kind of coming and saying, yes, see, Bhaktivedanta Swami has gotten these white elephants who are dancing on the street. They were just telling. So many appreciations in the newspaper were there, and some of them also, like they kind of chastised that what is he doing, and he is basically turning into these white Americans who had some different backgrounds. Some of them were meat-eating, somebody were not Brahmins. He is changing them into Brahmins. So Prabhupada then literally responded to them by telling that whatever a person was doing earlier doesn't matter, but currently what he is doing, he is purified by doing so many sadhanas and so many austerities by doing, and so many chanting, so many names. He is purified. And here in the purport also it says that once a devotee is initiated, he is initiated into Vaishnava Parampara. Then Prabhupada also tells later also, like getting initiation also doesn't end over there. It starts from there, and you have to maintain it. You have to as we see in the example, from the green mango to the ripened mango, we have to stay connected to the parampara and to follow the rules and regulations. So then only it will we can see there is a change, and we can see the purity aspect of saying that will be visible. Then the next picture we see this Matajis in Russia doing kirtan. Russia, we all know how the country was earlier. Now sometimes people, they a little bit hesitant to go and to preach over there, but due to Srila Prabhupada's mercy, these beautiful Matajis and Prabhujis are doing kirtan over there. There are so many temples in Russia. There are so many devotees. They're chanting Krishna's name. When Mayapur the festivals come, or Rathatra time, these Prabhujis and Matajis, when they come to from Russia, when they come to Mayapur to do Sankirtan over there, the devotees, the onlookers, or the visitors who come to Mayapur to see, they say that they feel as if some celestial bodies from heaven, they have come down to do Kirtan in front of Gauranga. So in here also, in the purport also, Prabhupada also very beautiful is describing that even if a person is taking from a low birth, but by following Krishna conscious activities and Krishna conscious principles and following the regulative principles, he looks like a Vaishnava, or he looks like, as if he is coming from a heavenly planet. Now here, after this, Prabhupada here he talks about the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Here in the purport, there's a strong line. It is saying that any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult certainly becomes a Brahmana. Now we see that a lot of times there is a discussion comes that Brahmana, what happens, he is born from a Brahmanican family, like Brahmana son will become a Brahman. But our Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, these two acharyas they tried to prove that no, it's not by Brahman by birth, by our karma, by our qualities, by the one which we acquire by our association or by our sadhana, then only we will become a Brahman. Like when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was initially, he was started preaching, that time it was a lot of adulteration was there in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, it was there. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was a reformer. He did so many changes. He established that yes, it is not by the birth, Then his son, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he was revolutionary kind of thing. There are so here it is written in the purport, right? There is a Nityananda Bangsa, and although discussion was there, basically he could prove by putting so many Shastric references that it is not by like by birth, it is basically by the qualities or by the association or by your behavior or by your reading Shastras and all those things. No, you can become basically a Vaishnava. So that Garuda Purana also it tells the same way also. There is a beautiful verse from Garuda Purana. It tells the description difference. It basically tells how the Vaishnavas basically they are superior than the Brahmanas. It goes by like this: Brahmanan sahasrabhya sastra yaji vishishyate satya yaji sahasrabhya sarva vedanta paragah sarva vedanta vid kotya Vishnu bhakta vashishyate. It means that out of many thousand of Brahmanas, one may become qualified to perform yajna. Out of many thousands of such qualified Brahmana, one may be fully aware of Vedanta philosophy. Out of many millions of learned Vedanta scholars, there may be one Vishnu Bhakta or devotee of Lord Vishnu. It is who he is most exalted. Basically, this verse it says that how a Vishnu Bhakta or a Vaishnava, basically, basically how he is an exalted devotee and who basically is more actually approach in a ladder, basically who is in a more superior position than a Brahmana. Now there is a beautiful story of how between a Brahmanican quality and a Vaishnava behavior. Just wanted to share with a wonderful story of Ramanujacharya and Dhanurdas. Dhanurdas basically he was a disciple of Ramanujacharya, but he was from a lower birth basically, and he was from a lower caste. So, but Ramanujacharya was very much attracted towards Dhanurdas' devotion. So Dhanurdas has a good wife, chaste wife also. But other disciples of Ramanujacharya, they were basically very jealous of Dhanurdas. They were thinking why Ramanujacharya basically is so much favorable to Dhanurdas. So so always they will put complaint about Dhanurdas, and when Dhanurdas will be crossing their way, they will go and the shadow will come. These Brahmins basically, Brahmins basically, what they will do, they will go and take a bath again, as if they are Dhanurdas kind of untouchable. But Dhanurdas was maintaining little space from them, and he was doing seva to Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya saw that this is going, like little bit too much, and he was very much, since he knew that Dhanurdas is a good Vaishnava, true Vaishnava, he thought that to explain his other disciples the good qualities of a Vaishnava. So one day, what he did, Ramanujacharya basically he took some of the disciples' dresses, and when the disciples came from the work outside, they were looking for the dress and they were find out what happened to my cloth and all those things. Then somebody might told that maybe Dhanurdas has taken. So they came to Ramanujacharya and they complained Dhanurdas might have taken our cloth. So Ramanujacharya told, okay, if Dhanurdas has taken your cloth, let's do one thing. Tonight you go to his house and take the jewelry from his house. You basically go and steal jewelry from his house. That way we can give him a lesson. And you just watch Dhanurdas of what he is doing and let me know what his behavior is. Then these disciples at night, they went to Dhanurdas' wife. So that day, Ramanujacharya called Dhanurdas and he told that you go and to some different village and do some work over there. He gave him some different tasks so that Dhanurdas is out from his house. So these disciples, Ramanujacharya's other disciples, they went to Dhanurdas' wife, Dhanurdas' wife's house. And when Dhanurdas' wife was at night sleeping, they went very slowly, opened the door, entered inside the house, and they started stealing the jewelries. They saw that Dhanurdas' wife also is wearing so many nice jewelries. So what they did, that Dhanurdas' wife was turning to the left side, right? So they were taking the jewelries from the right side. Dhanurdas' wife that time, slowly, I think he could realize and he woke up. But he pretended as if she is sleeping so that these disciples can steal her jewelries. Now then Dhanurdas' wife turned so that these Vaishnavas, the so-called Vaishnavas, basically disciples, they will steal from the jewelries from the other side. But that time these Brahmanas, they thought that yes, now maybe she's awake and she will call out the near villages, so let's run away. So taking the jewelries from one side of his wife, basically the disciples, they ran away and came to Ramanujacharya. They came and met Ramanujacharya and they told that yes, we have stolen. Then Ramanujacharya told that did Dharmadas, is he back from his Dhanudas back from work, and go and see what they're doing. Again, the disciples came to Dhanudas' wife, Dhanudas' house, and they saw that Dhanudas has come, and his wife is telling that like Ramanujacharya disciples came and they took the jewelries from me, and I was that time I was turning so that they could take the jewelry from my other side of the body. Then, but they got scared and they ran away. I'm so sorry that they could not take the jewelry from my other side of the body. They took the half of the jewelry. Then immediately Dhanudas chastised his wife. Why did you turn? You could have slept on the other side so that they could have taken the jewelry. Do you think these jewelries are owned by you, and so that you are giving them as a charity? Don't think that you can give a charity on your own. Everything belongs to Ranganath only. So, and they are Brahmanas and they could have taken from you. So these disciples saw this and they came and narrated everything to Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya smiled and he told to his disciples, see, the simple cloth only, and you have so much attachment to this simple cloth, and you are complaining that Dhanudas has taken. In fact, this cloth was taken by me so that you could see the real qualities of a Vaishnava. Now see, look at Dhanudas. Dhanudas' wife actually, he owned the jewelries, but she thinks that these jewelries are owned by Ranganath, basically owned by Vishnu. These jewelries basically are, this opulences is basically property of Krishna, and he is not at all attached to these jewelries. So that is the quality of a real Vaishnava. Basically, who is a good Vaishnava? The Vaishnava basically, he has no attachment. He thinks that everything belongs to Krishna. That is the quality. And look at you, simple cloth also, you have so much attachment. So then his disciples could realize that being a Brahmana is not enough. You have to go beyond that. In Bhagavad Gita, these qualities of Brahmana says here that what are the qualities of a Brahmana? We all know. One is peacefulness, then there is self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. All these qualities, basically, these are the natural qualities of a Brahmana who works in a Sattva. So now next we can see that why a Brahmana, Vaishnava basically is superior to a Brahman. A Vaishnava basically is superior to Brahman because a Brahman knows that he is basically he knows that about the Brahma aspect. But a Vaishnava knows that he is not only Brahma, but also an eternal servant of the Supreme Brahma. And Vaishnavas basically they're pure devotees of Lord Krishna or Vishnu or any Vishnu Tattva. Whereas the Brahmanas may not be devotees of Lord Krishna, they may be devotees of some other demigods. So they come from the lineage of their father and forefather kind of thing. So we see that Vaishnavas or Vishnu Bhaktas, they are basically transcendental to the material modes of nature. They are beyond the three modes. However, the Brahmanas basically are in the mode of goodness, they are in the mode of Sattva Guna. So since the Vaishnavas are beyond the modes of material nature, they are liberated souls, they enjoy the spiritual happiness in the purified goodness way. But since Brahmanas are in mode of goodness, they are attached to the mode of material mode of goodness. They get entangled in this material world. They acquire knowledge and they get happiness out of this knowledge. But still, all these things are become part of goodness. So a Vaishnava basically he knows three things. He knows Brahma aspect, he knows Paramatma aspect, he knows Bhagavan aspect. But the Brahmanas basically he knows the Brahma aspect. Brahma janati iti Brahmana we say, right? Then another story basically it says that we can think about it, how the Brahmana Patnis and their interaction with Krishna and Balram. So the Brahmana Patnis will be the Krishna and Balram will be going for cow herding, and that time they saw that the Brahmans are basically doing fire sacrifice, and there will be Brahman Patnis will be there. So Krishna Balram first will send the cowherd boys go to these Brahmans and ask for them some that yagya samagri they have, right? So ask something from them. But the Brahmanas will refuse them. No, we cannot give you anything to you to eat, but these are only for our yagya. They will tell. But however, when the cowherd boys approach the Brahmana's wife, they are pure-hearted and very simple devotees. They started cooking such a grand feast. Whatever they had, they started giving and started feeding Krishna and Balram. So they could understand that Krishna and Balram are Bhagavan, and if we are pleasing this Krishna and Balram, then everything is pleased, everybody is pleased. But their husbands who are very, very learned, they don't understand who are Krishna and Balram. Instead, what they are doing, their focus is how to do yagya, how to do fire sacrifice, without understanding the real essence of fire sacrifice. Now in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 54th verse, it says that Brahma Bhutta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samasarvesu bhutesu madbhaktam labhate param. That means that one devotee who is transcendentally situated at once realizes Supreme Brahma and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards everything. Then only he will attain Krishna. So when we get Madbhakta Labhate Param means once we get the Brahmabhuta Prasanatma platform. And what will we do? No Sochati na Kankshati. When we do not lament nor we desire anything. That time basically, a Brahmana basically what happens? He attends pure devotional service to Krishna. So we just wanted to end this beautiful topic of purity and devotional service with the story of Omagha and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So basically, Omagha basically he is son of our Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya once invited our Gauranga Mahaprabhu to his house for having lunch. So he was that time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife basically they prepare a grand feast for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they enjoy feeding him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhakta Vatsal and he also reciprocates the mood. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming to honor the feast, that time Omagha came and he started laughing and making some comments. The sannyasi is eating so much like that he passed comments. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got very offended and he asked Omagha to go away from his house. After that, what happened? That he developed some symptoms of cholera. And he was kind of lying in the bed, kind of as if he is going to die the next day. He was not able to get up from the bed. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that Omagha was dying from cholera, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhakta Vatsal, his heart is very soft. He immediately ran to see basically Omagha. He placed his hand on Omagha's chest and said that, "Hey Omagha, what are you doing and how all these things happened to you?" Then he told that the heart of a Brahmana is by nature is very, very clean. So that Krishna will come and sit it. If your heart is not clean, how will Krishna come and sit inside it? We always see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy is what? Chaito Darpana Marjanam. Our heart should be very clean so that Krishna will sit inside it. Omagha's heart basically is filled with so many jealousy. So that he is looking at when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is getting honored, he is getting jealous. So Mahaprabhu is saying him that your heart, since you are a Brahman and you are a son-in-law of exalted, like Brahmana Vaishnava, your heart should be clean. From where this impurities of jealousy is coming within your heart? So because of this, being born from a Brahman family, you are behaving like a Chandala or a low caste man. And you are staying in a most purified place, but with so much contamination in your heart, so that you yourself have become contaminated. But due to association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, all your contamination will slowly get vanquished. Then Mahaprabhu says to advise Omagha that when a person's heart is cleaned of all kind of contamination, all kind of anarthas, he is able to chant the Mahamantra very purely. Very nicely he can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and he can feel Krishna's presence all around. So Omagha, please get up and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a pure heart. Then Krishna will definitely, he will shower his mercy on you. So with this beautiful discussion, we can see that how Mahaprabhu is saying that being a Brahmana is not enough. When a Brahmana in a purified state, when all the contamination from the heart is going away, basically he can basically release the mellows of the Harinam. He can release how the devotional service is. He can understand what is basically purity in devotional service. Then only he can get Krishna. After getting devotional service, what will happen? He will get all kind of bliss. He will get such a bliss that this all kind of bliss or enjoyment we get by following the karmic path or by following the Jnanamargi path or by following the yogic path. Everything will look very, very small in front of it. So with the pure devotional service, what happened? Not only liberation, they'll get elevation from that liberated planet also. They'll get an entry to Golok Vrindavan or Vishnu Lok. And there they will get all kind of happiness, birth after birth, life after life. So for this, we all have to aspire to do pure devotional service. That is only possible by ahetuki apratyahata services, which is unmotivated and uninterrupted, and by anya vidasita sunyam, which means we should not have any kind of desire other than pleasing Krishna. We should be Krishnized all the time. Our prasadam should be Krishnized, our var should be Krishnized, everything. Whatever we do, always we should think of Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Then only we can get pure devotional service. So with this, would like to end today's discussion, and we can discuss it more later tomorrow. For the next one or two pages are there, we can discuss it tomorrow then. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Simeshwar Prabhu. Any discussion or anything maybe we can do now?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful class. Thank you so much. Very nicely explained. So, dear devotees, is there any questions, comments, concerns, or if you have anything to add? This is the time for that. And if anybody has anything to add, please go ahead. Hey, Krishna. You able to hear me, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. You can add some comments or some reflections or anything part of this or any other questions related with the topic. Yeah, everybody is convinced. That's good.
Mataji, you have explained very nicely, and all the examples were very nice. And the last example was so touchy that after all the contaminations are there with us, still with the Krishna's mercy, we can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and we can get contamination free. So this lesson is very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Suman Mataji, thank you so much. Yes, this Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the stories and all the pastimes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, is so wonderful. And definitely, when the contaminations are not there, are not removed from us, we are not going to release anything. Like I have personally witnessed it. Initially, when I was going to any spiritual places or any dhamma, we were just going and coming out. We're not understanding it. Now, slowly, we devotees association, when we enter these dhamma, these Jagannath Puri or Vrindavan Dham, they look so beautiful to us. Instead of looking here and there, we see the essence of it. So our Acharya says that when we have this, we understand this purity part, right? So we basically take the essence out of it. Otherwise, we just take the burden. So similarly, this Amoghas example, we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying him that yes, you remove the contamination, then only you can understand the Harinam and the process very beautifully. Then only you can get Krishna. Staying in Jagannath Puri, he is having contamination, Mataji. So yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Jai. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranams, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Very nice class, Mataji. I have a small doubt. Like we have heard that when we do a lot of devotional service, like one can be raised to the position of Brahma. So that indicates that Brahma is a position, right? Same way, I had a doubt in Narad Muni also position or Narad Muni is an individual?
Narad, yes, Mataji, very beautiful questions. You are saying that, like the Brahma basically is a position. Yes, to that we see in Krishna book there is a story, right? That Brahma once comes to meet Krishna, and he tells the guard that Brahma has come. Then the guard goes and tells Krishna that Brahma has come. Then Brahma asked him which Brahma has come. Then when Brahma enters, and Krishna comes and meets him and asks all whereabouts and everything. Then Brahma asked him that what do you mean by that which Brahma has come? Then means that time basically Krishna says that look at this, so many Brahmas are there. Then Brahma witnessed a Brahma with 4 heads, then Brahma with 1 head, Brahma with so many helmets, and all of these Brahmas are going down in front of Krishna. Yeah, that's an example. But within Narada's past time, we see that, Narada basically, he was a small boy in his earlier life. Then he became Narad Muni. Then we see there are other references also. Narada basically, he gets into illusion. There are other stories are also there. Then he tries to take Krishna's form, like Hari's form, and he tries to marry some woman. So many pastimes are also there. So Narada also basically if you see that Narada's characteristics, he is not steady in one position, where basically but his goal is to spread Krishna's mission. Yes, so Narada basically he comes in a category of Suddha Bhakta.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mataji. That answers Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Let's conclude. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful class. Please join tomorrow and don't miss out this very special, these classes. Thank you, everybody. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarupasya, kripa sindhubhyavacha, padidanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha, Vaishnavabhyo ki jai. Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu ki jai. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Gauri Premanande.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.